Tons of Lunar New Year content is about to drop. Let's begin. Welcome back everyone. Let's talk about what we're getting this week. And of course, we're getting the first phase of the Lunar New Year event. That's called Welcome the Year of the Dragon with T. I don't know why it's called that, but that's what it's called. Anyway, I'm not sure if all of these rewards will be available day one. They might be available slowly over the multiple week event, but these are what we can expect. We'll be getting B tier skins for Gardener Mechanic, a B tier accessory that I believe is for all survivors, an emote called Dragon Dance that is apparently upgradable, an event portrait and frame, and then of course 3 graffitis. In the Spyglass store, we should see 4 new dishes, and we should also get the reward of an A tier permanent unlock card that should be available probably not on week 1 but maybe on week 2 or week 3, and we'll be seeing the return of some content from previous Chinese New Year's that we've had in the previous years, including a table that is an S tier furniture piece, 4 A tier furniture pieces, 3 B tier furniture pieces, a survivor emote called Light Firecracker that you might have seen around, and the red packet emotes for Prospector and for Wu Chang. Now it's not the only thing we're getting this week. Of course, this week we're getting the return of the crossover called Kamate Moon, or Mitsuji Kamata if you want to call it that, parts 1, 2 and 3 that will include the portraits from those events, the frames, the graffiti, and of course the furniture pieces, and we'll bring to the store all 7 skins, including the skins for Bloody Queen, Soul Weaver, Sculptor, Perfumer, Prospector, Mercenary, and Toy Merchant. Also this week, we're getting the memory series reset, so that means that you'll be able to reset your guaranteed rewards by spending your clues in that memory sphere area. And on the 24th of January, we're getting a character day that is for Feaster. That should be like his 4th character day, maybe even his 5th at this point. I don't really even know. How about we talk about what's coming from the future? Well, because we have a lot of content coming from the future. Let's first talk about what was just revealed last week. That is the new Survivor Puppeteer that should be coming at the beginning of next month. I'm going to give a basic explanation of how his abilities work. He has 3 different external traits, including one that is called Lewis, where he can transform into his puppet form for 8 seconds, and he will take 25% health as damage after every single time that he casts this. There's no cooldown. In this form, he can absorb 1 damage worth of hit, and he can also use his Undaunted ability to stand still for 1 second and be completely immune to any damage, but only for 1 second. His external trait Flexible Joints gives him an increased movement speed of 8% for 8 seconds when he takes any sort of damage, so even if he damages himself by transforming into Lewis, he gets that 8-second movement speed increase. And then his final external trait is Useless Flesh, where he cannot be healed by another player, but he can heal others, but healing takes 30% longer and will only heal 25% of that survivor's health, but will also heal 25% of his health, so he heals others to heal himself. And every survivor that he heals again will take 20% longer, so he takes 30% longer and then 50% longer to get the person back up to full, as he needs to heal people twice to be able to heal 1 hit's worth of damage. A small thing they did is they revealed the art for the Valentine skin for Female Dancer that is an S tier. It looks quite nice and fancy. Let's talk about some of the content coming up next month. On February 1st, we're getting the Chinese New Year themed public map. We're also getting Essence 2 for Season 30. That is the Puppeteer Essence that will of course bring along Puppeteer on the 2nd week to the store, but for the 1st week you'll only be able to get him in the Essence. On that day we'll also get Wu Chang and Naiad's Best Performance S tier skins, so they look really cool. I've talked about them in previous weeks. And we're getting Barmaid and Priestess's Ivory Tower B tier skins that you'll be able to purchase for 60 echoes each, I believe. On February 7th, we're getting a ton of Chinese New Year content, including the S tier furniture that's like a dragon piece. I don't really know what you want to call it. 2 A tier furniture pieces that are like a shelf and a toilet. It looks like a toilet, but I'm not really sure what it's meant to be. And we're also getting 2 B tier furniture pieces. Also on February 7th, we're getting Prisoner's Once skin that looks really cool. Enchantress's Spyglass store skin that is an A tier that will be added to the Spyglass store, of course. And we're getting an update for the Penrose Maze. We'll talk a little bit about that later. On February 9th, we're getting a ton of new purchasable content for Chinese New Year, including the S tier skin for Antiquarian that is like a package. Of course, will include an accessory. These are all packages. The S tier Gamekeeper package and the S tier Acrobat package that all include a S tier skin and I believe an S tier accessory, all 3 of those. On that day, we'll also get Chinese New Year themed emotes. One of them is for Antiquarian, one of them is for Gamekeeper, one of them is for Acrobat, and there's also one for Hunters in general that is called Light Firecrackers. So survivors have been able to use the firework emote, now Hunters will be able to do that too. I mentioned the Penrose Maze update, and of course we're going to talk about what that is. That will include the S tier skin for Bloody Queen that has like multiple forms depending I think if she uses her mirror or not, and the skin is called False Hope. She'll also be getting an S tier accessory that looks like a golden rose that's kind of dripping an aurora kind of energy. I don't really know how you'd explain it. There's also an A tier pet that looks like a little box with a cat. I don't really know how that's a pet. There's also a really cool looking S tier furniture piece, and of course we're getting a portrait, frame, graffiti, emote, and 2 dishes that are all themed around the skin, I think, as far as I can tell. I know a lot of you guys are excited to play the new Survivor Puppeteer, but if you want to see how long it can take to heal with the Puppeteer when you've got a ton of things stacked on top of you, then click on the video that's on the screen right now because it was quite funny to watch.